लड़के आए फ्रंट पेज पे, तू सड़क के महारानी के बेस में, मैं संजू बाबा वॉक करता हाथ रख के जेब में, देख ले खलनायक में और गुस्से वाला, फ्रैक्चर तेरा गैंग और मैं एम्बुलेंस में पहुंचने वाला।
ना आज कोई है ना कल कोई है, तेरे यार दा कोई कंपटीशन नहीं, ना आज कोई है ना कल कोई है, तेरे यार दा कोई कंपटीशन नहीं, कंपटीशन नहीं,
Competition and I came from the bottom and we winning. Sunday in the competition and we came from the bottom and we winning. There ain't no competition, कोई नहीं मुकाबला. From the bottom निकला टॉप, डाला पैसा तो मुनाफा, माँ पे गाली सीधा लाफा. रैप द नाका सुनते बांग्ला मुझे थाका मैं, 5 स्टार के कपड़े पहन के खाता मैं हूँ धाबे पे. स्ट्रीम्स हो या ड्रीम्स, अब पूरा कामयाब मैं, कोहली वाला माइंडसेट और धोनी जैसा शाप मैं. हर पब में जी और गेम है मेरे हाथ में, हंसता सीधा बैंक तक 50 वाले लाफ में. हा 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 भाई तू है वीक और मैं लेता हफ्ता, खुद के तेरे हाथ नहीं तूने रखा चमचा. पूरा गैंग ग्राइमी हा टॉप सीधा शॉट्स तेरे ब्रेन में. बॉम्बे दा बैड मुंडा पंजाब तक कैंट में, नाम है डिवाइन पर बंदा नहीं हुसैन में. रिक्शा से निकला रोवर मेरे रेंज में, बैक बेंच वाले लड़के आए फ्रंट पेज पे, तू सड़क के महारानी के बेस में, मैं संजू बाबा वॉक करता हाथ रख के जेब में, देख ले खलनायक में और गुस्से वाला, फ्रैक्चर तेरा गैंग और मैं एम्बुलेंस में पहुंचने वाला.
ना आज कोई है ना कल कोई है, तेरे यार दा कोई कंपटीशन नहीं, ना आज कोई है ना कल कोई है, तेरे यार दा कोई कंपटीशन नहीं, कंपटीशन नहीं,
Competition and I came from the bottom and we winning. Sunday in the competition and we came from the bottom and we winning. There ain't no competition, कोई नहीं मुकाबला. From the bottom निकला टॉप, डाला पैसा तो मुनाफा, माँ पे गाली सीधा लाफा. रैप द नाका सुनते बांग्ला मुझे थाका मैं, 5 स्टार के कपड़े पहन के खाता मैं हूँ धाबे पे. स्ट्रीम्स हो या
into the attack. Looked impossible. That says 100 on a top class inning.
Excellent fielding.
Huge appeal. And he's given it. Gigantic six. Oh, undid the batter with a beauty.
Direct hit. He's a gun fielder. Launched this superbly.
Ladies and gentlemen, मैं हूँ आपका होस्ट नीरज पूरन राव and welcome to the bustling city of Pune. दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा e-cricket गेम रियल क्रिकेट 24 पर होने वाला है JetSynthesys presents Global E-Cricket Premier League. क्रिकेट, गेमिंग, esports and entertainment का perfect combination. 2 करोड़ से भी ज्यादा डेली एक्टिव यूजर्स में से 2 लाख प्लेयर्स ने रजिस्टर किए. एंड आफ्टर अ राउंड ऑफ क्वालिफायर्स ऑल ओवर इंडिया से हमें 100 प्लेयर्स मिले, जिनमें से हमें मिले हमारे टॉप 48 प्लेयर्स. ओवर द नेक्स्ट 2 वीक्स 8 जाबाज टीम्स अपनी पूरी जान लगाकर खेलेंगे 56 लीग मैचेस and 4 playoffs at the grand finale to win one of the biggest prize pools in Indian esports, a prize money of 2.51 CR. Now I would like to introduce all the teams on the stage, starting with Mumbaigrizzlies. Devendra Singh, Milan Gohil, Chhatrapati Singh, Abhishek Chhatrapati, Pappu Kumar, Swapnil Dhananjay,
There ain't no competition, कोई नहीं मुकाबला. From the bottom निकला top डाला पैसा तो मुनाफा माँ पे गाली सीधा लाफा. रैप द नाका सुनते बांग्ला मुझे थाका मैं 5 star के.
Moving on to the next team, it is Sydney Panthers. Akshat Kondal, Saurabh Jagdish, Azan Sheikh, Yadavali Pradyumna, Chetan Meena, and Jyoti Prakash Panigrahi. A big round of applause.
There ain't no competition, कोई नहीं मुकाबला. From the bottom निकला top डाला पैसा तो मुनाफा माँ पे गाली सीधा लाफा. रैप द नाका सुनते बांग्ला मुझे थाका मैं.
Coming up next, it is the New York Apes. Jagdish Kumar, Jitendra Kumar, Jitu Godara, Kamal Parida, Netaji P, and Razin Pathan. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
There ain't no competition, कोई नहीं मुकाबला. From the bottom निकला top डाला पैसा तो मुनाफा माँ पे गाली सीधा लाफा. रैप द नाका सुनते.
The next team is London Rhinos. Sukhpreet Singh, Ratikanta Sahu, Tejas Mahera, Pravin Thela, Sagar Anjana, and Amit Santosh. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
There ain't no competition, कोई नहीं मुकाबला. From the bottom निकला top डाला पैसा तो मुनाफा माँ पे गाली सीधा लाफा. रैप द नाका सुनते बांग्ला मुझे थाका मैं.
The next team is Kolkata Hawks. Satyendra Pal, Krunal Makwana, Praveen Mirdha, Sachin Chavan, Saurabh Jain, and Sujit Kumar. A big round of applause for the Kolkata Hawks. Up next, it is the Dubai Vipers. Mukesh Dodwani, Manish Ray, Vijay Tandu, Ankit Roy, Harbhajan, and Kore Munju Wamsi. A big round of applause for the Dubai Vipers. And the next team is Delhi Sharks. Vaibhav Shinde, Manmeet Singh, Jayesh Kotadia, Soumya Dipta, Molan Singh, and Devabrata Bora. A big round of applause.
There ain't no competition, कोई नहीं मुकाबला. From the bottom निकला top डाला.
And the final team, Chennai Wolves. Surjit Singh, Bharati Chandra Simha, Anurag Prabhakar, Anil Kumar, Ajay Devangan, and Manoj B. A big round of applause.
There ain't no competition, कोई नहीं मुकाबला. From the bottom निकला top डाला पैसा तो मुनाफा माँ पे गाली सीधा लाफा. रैप द नाका सुनते बांग्ला मुझे थाका.
Thank you so much, teams. We are all excited to see you in action. Moving on to the next segment for the GEPL trophy reveal, I would now like to call upon stage Mr. Rajan Navani, Chairman and Managing Director, JetSynthesys, his wife, Mrs. Sheetal Navani, Mr. Rohit Thotpode, President esports, CEO GEPL, Mr. Anuj Mankar, CEO Nautilus Mobile and creator Real Cricket, along with all the team captains. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Let the applause keep coming. Sir, we are all waiting for this moment, the trophy reveal. Ma'am. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And now, from the man himself, sir, we would love to know what was the vision behind GEPL?
Well, a very warm welcome to all of you, and GEPL is the culmination of a lot of work and effort in creating what is the world's largest and first ecricket Premier League in esports. And we are going to redefine esports for the world with cricket. Cricket, esports, gaming, entertainment. What better combination can we have for what will engage with the youth of this country, get people to participate and around the world? What we promise to do is create a sport and athletes that will revolutionize this industry over the next few years and decades ahead. You know, the English, as we say, the British gave cricket to India, and India will give e-cricket to the world. Esports, e-cricket through real cricket. This is going to be the real cricket for the world, and the world is going to recognize what this is all about. So a very, very, warm welcome to all of you, and we look forward to not only this closed league and a grand finale, and then seeing GEPL grow stronger from here on. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We cannot wait to see this unfold. A big round of applause to the entire team, guys. Handshake. Now, let's introduce our expert analysts, Roshan Shetty and Chetan Narula. A big round of applause.
Hello and welcome to JetSynthesys presents the Global eCricket Premier League, the world's largest franchise-based eCricket league, where the best aspects of cricket, gaming, esports and entertainment are brought together. I'm Roshan Shetty, and joining me along is our expert, Chetan Narula, and we are going to bring you all the action of the GEPL on JioCinema for the next 2 weeks. Chetan, India worships cricket. India loves gaming as well. Long time a league like this had to come.
Absolutely, Roshan. Thanks. Cricket एक जज्बा है, cricket एक passion है. Field पे, field के बाहर, और अब दोनों मिलकर आएंगे mobile cricket पे. Like you said, cricket is a religion. Cricket is passion. High time we see the players coming from the fans into the mobile gaming league.
Well, absolutely. Remember the next 11, in fact, added with the playoffs, which Neeraj just mentioned about it. We're having building to the main playoffs eventually as we go forward with all the league stages.
Yeah.
Of course, we started with the registration. Over 2 lakh members who registered for the game. That's massive.
Absolutely. जैसे आपने कहा कि 2 lakh members, we had so many players in the qualifying stages, and we had the top 48 players coming from those. हजारों नहीं, लाखों की बात हुई है यहाँ पे, और उसमें से 48 प्लेयर्स चुनकर आगे आए हैं हमारी 8 टीमों के लिए. 6 एक्टिव प्लेयर्स रहेंगे हर टीम में, 8 टीम्स, 60 मैचेस, 12 days. This is Global eCricket Premier League.
Well, absolutely. If you can see right in front of your screens, it started with the registrations eventually, which went on to a qualifier, where, of course, the top 100 were drafted into the first ever official GEPL draft, from where there were 8 teams. Remember, 8 geographically distant teams waiting to be represented. And here we are, of course, in the closed league stage then, building up for the land finale.
Absolutely. And the closed league stage, in this league stage, we'll have the teams playing twice, each other twice. हर टीम दूसरी टीम को 2 बार खेलेगी, और जो टॉप 4 टीम्स होंगी वो हमारे नॉकआउट्स में जाएंगी. और नॉकआउट्स, देखिए, ये मोबाइल क्रिकेट लीग होगी, लेकिन हर T20 लीग की तरह हमारी नॉकआउट स्टेज में होंगे टॉप टीम, there'll be an eliminator, there'll be a qualifier, and then the best 2 teams out of those top 4 will get into the grand finale of the Global eCricket Premier League.
Well, absolutely. 8 teams, like we mentioned, Dubai Vipers, Delhi Sharks, London Rhinos, Chennai Wolves, followed by the New York Apes, Mumbai Grizzlies, and also the Kolkata Hawks and Sydney Panthers. So we have franchisees from all over the world. I think that makes the competition pretty interesting, isn't it?
Absolutely. And we have teams from all over the world. लेकिन एक common factor होने वाला है सारी teams के लिए, और वो ये है कि सारे मुकाबले जो हमारे मोबाइल प्लेटफॉर्म पर खेले जाएंगे वो मेलबर्न क्रिकेट ग्राउंड पर खेले जाएंगे, द हिस्टोरिक, द ग्रैंड MCG। सो एक कॉमन फैक्टर रहेगा, देखिए बिग बाउंड्रीज एट दिस ग्राउंड, जैसा हम सभी जानते हैं, लेकिन ये जो ग्राउंड है ना, ये एक यूनिक फैक्टर लेके आएगा सारी टीम्स के लिए, उनको चैलेंज करेगा ना केवल बैट से बल्कि बॉल से भी।
Absolutely. We speak about the biggest grounds in the world today. Melbourne, of course, is one of it. The challenge, of course, will be not just scoring boundaries, but fielding from a perspective.
Absolutely. Fielding will be very important. Like I said, you know, it's such a big ground. So यहाँ पर, if you can fool the batsman, then you have a chance of getting them out. 5 over matches. You have to remember, these are 5 over matches. 5 overs per innings, 10 overs, 20 minutes. Fatafat action, fatafat chauke chake, fatafat wickets.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at today's fixtures. Of course, 5 games of big games, of course, starting with the Chennai Wolves taking on the Sydney Panthers. पहला ही मुकाबला इंटरनेशनल हो गया?
बिल्कुल इंटरनेशनल हो गया। चेन्नई वर्सेस सिडनी एट MCG, मेलबर्न में खेला जाएगा ये मुकाबला। और चेन्नई तो हम जानते ही हैं, यू नो, एक पेडिग्री लेकर आते हैं। आप चेन्नई नाम लें, क्रिकेट से जोड़ें, तो आपको लगता है कि हाँ, ये टीम जीतने वाली है। तो क्या हम कहेंगे कि चेन्नई वुल्व्स का पल्ला भारी है?
We can keep our fingers crossed for that, but we look forward to the other games as well. Eventually, Delhi Sharks taking on New York Knights, one of the strongest teams. Eventually, if we could predict, and going forward, of course, Dubai Vipers take on London Rhinos, and the last 2 games of the day, Kolkata Hawks taking on Mumbai Grizzlies, and eventually we'll have Chennai Wolves coming back to take on the Apes again. Now, going forward to these teams, all teams are going to play here today. You know, what do you feel? How will they have to cope up to, you know, what they're going to handle here today?
You know, it's very interesting because this is, you know, first of its kind ecricket Premier League. तो जब आप शुरुआती मुकाबले देखेंगे ना, सारे प्लेयर्स देख रहे हैं कि आप कैसे शॉट्स खेल रहे हैं, कैसे गेंदबाजी कर रहे हैं। तो इस गेम में स्ट्रैटेजी का बहुत ज्यादा महत्व है। तो आप देखेंगे कि ये कैसे बॉल डाल रहे हैं तो हम इसको कैसे खेल सकते हैं, ये कैसे खेल रहे हैं तो हम इनको कैसे बॉल डाल सकते हैं। और जैसा हमने कहा कि फील्डिंग बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रहेगी। आई थिंक दिस इज टाइम टू इंट्रोड्यूस द पीपल who are going to talk about the match game.
Of course, well, we talk about the predictions then, and of course, the casters and the analysts have given the prediction. Well, Chris started off with Chennai Wolves picking it up. Well, that'll be an interesting story. Followed by, well, I also feel it could be Wolves, but you know what? This is a game where, of course, we can be surprised, and that's what makes it more interesting.
Absolutely, and like you can see, I also picked the Chennai Wolves. Like I said, जहाँ पे चेन्नई नाम आ जाता है ना, वहाँ पे you expect कि victory will follow on the cricket field. So don't blame me if I'm picking Chennai Wolves for a first victory.
Too early to say of whatever we can happen, and of course expect in the coming entire day that we have packed. And well, we'll have a look at today's game, an exciting one. Chennai Wolves taking on, of course, the Panthers. There we have the 2 skippers for the match 1. Remember, they have been training for the last couple of days. The league started back in June, where these teams came down individually, eventually to come towards a league stage where now they're going to play against each other, but as a team.
Yeah, and you can see the Chennai Wolves already in the yellow jersey. यही associate करते हैं हम चेन्नई के players के साथ. Surjit is the captain. He's the captain, and his strike rate is in excess of 260. तो अगर 5 ओवर का मैच हो रहा है ना, this kind of strike rate is going to be very important. Let's take a look at you know, what is the team for Chennai and who are going to be the more important players. So यहाँ पर Mobile Cricket League में their players are going to be divided into different categories: brute, radical, balanced and defensive. तो जो ब्रूट और रैडिकल प्लेयर्स हैं, उनसे काफी ज्यादा अग्रेशन की उम्मीद रहेगी। तो हम मनोज की बात करें और उसके बाद हम अनुराग की बात करें, और सुरजीत तो हैं जो कप्तान है, तो स्ट्राइक रेट उनका ज्यादा रहेगा। किस तरीके से आप कनेक्ट कर पाते हैं बॉल को, कितनी बाउंड्रीज लगा पाते हैं। फर्स्ट 2 overs पावर प्ले, दे आर गोइंग टू बी एट अ प्रीमियम.
Well, of course, we can expect fireworks right from the start and right from the word go when you talk about Chennai. And of course, we're talking about a lot of depth as well. You talk about the reserve players. Well, it's again time to say, but will they be using the reserve players, not using the reserve players? But when you look at, of course, the Sydney Panthers, a challenging team, but of course, you can't put them down. Well, they've had their own ups and downs towards the qualifiers, but here they are. We have the likes of Pradyumna and Azan, of course, who could be handy right from the start, is it?
And yes, and you know, we are talking about players matchups.
Right.
Matchups का बहुत ज़्यादा महत्व रहता है किसी भी T20 लीग में या किसी भी प्रीमियर लीग में, किसी भी मोबाइल क्रिकेटिंग लीग में. तो यहाँ पे अगर हम सिडनी पैंथर्स की बात करें तो जो उनके कप्तान हैं अक्षु, I can see a namesake also, Chetan, you know. I'm hoping he has a great strike rate and a great bowling record as well. But Akshu, अगर उनके कप्तान की बात करें, इनका strike rate भी 260 का है. But they have some really important players. प्रद्युम्न जो हैं, उनके brute player हैं, उनसे expect किया जाएगा. यहाँ पे एक important चीज़ ये भी note करनी होगी कि क्या teams पावर प्ले के जो फर्स्ट 2 ओवर्स हैं उसमें ब्रूट प्लेयर्स का इस्तेमाल करेंगे या रैडिकल प्लेयर्स को लेके आएंगे. रिमेंबर, द रैडिकल प्लेयर्स आर प्लेयर्स हु कैन बी अग्रेसिव and defensive at the same time, depending on the situation. So, ये जो utilization of players है, of your 6 players who are in the game, ये बहुत important रहेगा.
Well, absolutely. Well, we all have that one man or probably two man in that team who can actually change the course of the match. We look at a few of them. Surjit, let me tell you, he's a surgeon, which is, of course, exciting, the kind of backgrounds these players are bringing in. And, of course, we have Akshay, who's the skipper for the Panthers.
You know, the fact that he's a surgeon, this tells you that he is not going to be flustered.
Oh,
and
of
he's
course.
a surgeon, he can even plan कि देखो आज क्या हो रहा है match में, हम ये करेंगे, हम ये करेंगे. So from that perspective, their backgrounds are really, really important. जैसे मैंने कहा, you know, both of them have a strike rate above 200. How they channelize their players, how they use their players, how they marshal their troops. It's not just a game of how many sixes you hit, how many wickets you take. It's also a game of strategy.
Well, you can call it that brain is mightier than brawn, but of course, while we're building up for this first, and well, it's all game in there, of course, Chetan. Now, another 4 games, they'll be playing against each others. It's also about knowing your opponents, isn't it?
Absolutely. Like I said at the start of the show, you know, सिर्फ आप ये नहीं देखेंगे कि गेम में क्या हो रहा है, आप ये भी देखेंगे कि किस तरीके से बल्लेबाजी की जा रही है, क्या strengths हैं, क्या weaknesses हैं. Chennai are playing 2 matches, so they'll be under the spotlight. लोग सोचेंगे, देखेंगे कि इनकी strengths क्या हैं, इनकी weaknesses क्या हैं. So you're playing 2 matches today. That can be a strength, that can be a positive, that can be a negative.
Well, absolutely. Then we're all ready for the toss for that first game. We have Neeraj alongside the captains and the umpires.
All new Pulsar Mania is here. Maniacs wanted.
Piyush, hey, I was just on lenskart. ये जो price है $999, right?
नहीं करण, रुपीज है.
I can't be seen wearing glasses under 1 lakh. Price थोड़ा ज्यादा हो सकता है क्या?
करण, ये बढ़िया प्राइस है. It's only because we don't have middlemen.
90,000?
आप कहीं और से ले लो.
80,000.
I'm going. Bye.
अमीरों की हाई लगेगी तुझे.
Factory wale prices, no middlemen. Lenskart. Download the app.
लेकिन ये पाइप चलेगा.
finolex pipes. पीढ़ियां बदलेंगी, पाइप नहीं.
I'm on stage with the 2 charismatic captains, Surjit Singh from Chennai Wolves and Akshat Kondal from Sydney Panthers. A big round of applause, guys! I would now request the umpire to come on stage for the toss. Okay, who's going to take the call? Tails it is. Tails it is. Okay. So, Surjit, you're the winning captain. Bataiye, would you be going for bowling or batting?
Ball first.
Yeah?
Ball first.
Bowling. Okay. Sydney Panthers have chosen to bowl. Okay. Any particular reasons?
अब वीक पॉइंट भी हमारी बॉलिंग में, तो हम ट्राई करेंगे थोड़ा कम.
वापस बोलिए, आपने ये क्यों चूज किया? क्या स्ट्रैटेजी है?
अपना जो बॉलिंग है उसमें थोड़ा सा वीक पॉइंट है, इसलिए फिर कम रोकेंगे, उनको ट्राई करेंगे. अब वो देखते हैं फिर चेस करने के लिए. बिलीव है मैं चेस कर लूँगा.
चेस तो आप करोगे, है ना? पैंथर
Believe
है.
है.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. Please go back to your seat. Surjit, क्या लग रहा है?
वैसे ही बैटिंग ही लेने वाला था.
अच्छा, बैटिंग ही लेने वाले थे?
बैटिंग ही लेने वाला था.
अच्छा जी.
टॉस जीतने के लिए ब्लेसिंग है भाई ने, पहले ही बॉलिंग ले ली, तो आई एम हैप्पी विद.
फंस गए हो?
हाँ,
फंस गए हो पैंथर्स?
हाँ फंस गए हैं, खुद के जाल में फंस गए भाई.
चलिए देखते हैं. Thank you so much, Surjit. Please go back to your seat. Guys, this is gonna be a very tight match. It's gonna be Chennai Wolves versus Sydney Panthers. Chennai have chosen to bat. Panthers have chosen to bowl. Now over to you, my expert analyst.
Then Sydney Panthers winning the toss and choosing to bowl, I'm sure there is a strategy onto it as well, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's a game of strategy and हम लोग अंतर्राष्ट्रीय क्रिकेट में देखते हैं कि जितना फॉर्मेट छोटा होता जाता है आप पहले बॉलिंग करना चाहेंगे, आपके सामने एक टारगेट रखना चाहिए, तो ये तो हमने और भी छोटा फॉर्मेट कर दिया है. मोबाइल क्रिकेट लीग में 5 ओवर का मैच है और इतना बड़ा ग्राउंड है. सो आई थिंक सिडनी पैंथर्स वांट टू सी what the other team wants to do. चेन्नई वुल्व्स किस तरीके से बैटिंग करेंगे, किस तरीके का स्कोर खड़ा कर सकते हैं, किस तरीके से वो शॉट्स खेलेंगे. और जैसे हमने कहा है कि चेन्नई के आज 2 मुकाबले हैं, सो अ लॉट ऑफ टीम्स विल बी वाचिंग देम कि किस तरीके से वो बल्लेबाजी करते हैं, किस तरीके से फील्ड को मनूवर करते हैं. आई थिंक दैट विल बी वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू वॉच. और ऐसे मौके पे यू वांट कि आपके सामने वो 5 ओवर में वो टारगेट रहे. तो आई थिंक गुड डिसीजन फ्रॉम सिडनी पैंथर्स.
Well, absolutely. Well, we are going forward, of course, to this game where we have our casters, Crips and Umesh, who are going to call out the game for you then.
Thank you so much, Roshan and Chetan. Ladies and gentlemen, Devi or Sajno and everyone from all across India, welcome to the Global eCricket Premier League. My name is Loki. Joining me for this one is going to be Crips. We have a very action-packed match to start the day between the Sydney Panthers and the Chennai Wolves. And Crips, I have to say the Chennai Wolves are looking mighty scary.
Oh, definitely. Chennai Wolves have some of the players in this league जिनने सबसे ज़्यादा अच्छे stats post up किए हैं. In fact, not just the numbers, they also have some really interesting personalities. हम कुछ players के बारे में और गौर से बात करेंगे once they get onto the pitch and start batting. लेकिन man, oh man, almost everybody in this team seems like a superstar for the time being.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what these guys post up. I mean, of course, we've had the chance to talk to the players. Some very interesting personalities coming through to play the game of real cricket. But I have to say, whatever you are outside the field, off the phone, does not matter. When you hear these 5 overs, this phone, this game, that's all that's going to count. And that's all you're going to get to perform and just set your name apart from the rest of the crowd. That's the only opportunity these players get. So Crips, I mean, as much as I love the fact that all these players have diverse personalities while you're in the game, it's all what you can do, your mind and your fingers.
Exactly right, and it's also quite interesting how they are gonna play this game. In fact, हर एक टीम को एक ही डिवाइस दिया जाएगा. For example, अगर आप बैटिंग कर रहे हो, अगर हम दोनों बैटिंग कर रहे हैं, मैं स्ट्राइक पे ये नॉन स्ट्राइक एंड पे, पहले मैं मेरा थंब घुमा के I will hit my shot, and if we score a run और फ्लोकी अगर स्ट्राइकिंग एंड पे आएंगे तो मैं मेरा डिवाइस उनको पास करूंगा और फिर वो ही खेलेंगे. तो इस हिसाब से द फोन विल बी एक्सचेंज बिटवीन द स्ट्राइकिंग एंड द नॉन स्ट्राइकिंग एंड डिपेंडिंग ऑन हुएवर इज बैटिंग. और सेम विद बॉलर्स, जो भी पहले बॉल कर रहा है अपने ओवर में वो ही फील्डिंग भी करेंगे. तो इस मैकेनिक्स के साथ हम गेम को आगे बढ़ाने वाले हैं. ऑफ कोर्स इट्स गोना कम डाउन टू टाइमिंग मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम, राइट. बैटिंग में, बॉलिंग में, फील्डिंग में टाइमिंग आपकी बहुत ही ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. सो यू नीड टू मेक श्योर that you are fully aware about the capabilities of your teams and अपने stats के हिसाब से आप timing pick करोगे. And of course, when you're batting, shot selection becomes quite important, which we will discuss in detail once we get into the game.
Absolutely. It seems that 2 skills are very crucial here in the game. The first are your reflexes, especially when you're going to be bowling and fielding. Secondly is going to be the decision making, trying to play those mind games, trying to figure out, okay, you know, I bowled a certain ball in the previous one. Maybe this time around the batsman's going to adjust to it so I can take advantage of that and whatnot. And I think from that angle, a lot is going to come down to how much you can think about or think like your opponent. And I think that's going to be the distinguishing factor separating the greats from the goods from the averages. And I think that's where we're going to have all the action brewing out. Of course, this is the first day, so it's too early to say anything at all.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, the mental games are going to be strong in this one, Crips. But we can take some time to talk about some of the players. You did mention that some of them have very interesting personalities. Why don't you tell us more about that?
All right. So, in my opinion, the most interesting personality in this particular match is that of Anurag Prabhakar. This man lost his eye in an accident and he continues to dominate regardless. In fact, this is a man who has one of the highest stats in the league, both bowling-wise and batting-wise. So he is an all-rounder in that aspect.
That is mind-blowing. A man like that able to come and perform at this level, that is, yeah, that's a little bit ridiculous. I mean, if I was everyone else, I'd be scared. This man, I think he has a point to prove to everyone, and I think he's going to be doing just that.
Exactly. One of the first points he has to prove is to prove that he is the best. Now, unka strike rate currently है 261.8. 261. That is a ridiculous number.
Oh yeah.
Especially in a small format like that, जहाँ पे आपके पास सिर्फ 5 over है. And currently, even with such a high number, he is the guy with the second highest strike rate in the entire tournament.
I mean, I was going to say he might be in the top 10, but it turns out this guy's in the top 2. He's literally second in the strike rate department. So
exactly.
Yeah, no contesting that man over there.
No contesting that man over there, except for the one guy. वो आज तो उन्हें face करने नहीं वाले, but we'll speak about the highest guy's strike rate.
We're
as
gonna
well
save
later
the
on.
best for later. You know, it's like fine wine. The more it ages, the better it tastes. So we're gonna let that simmer, let that sit for a while we get the game underway. But yeah, the game is gonna be underway soon. Just to give you some more information about it, there are gonna be 5 overs played. Each player on the bowling side gets 1 over to bowl. The first 2 overs are always gonna be power play, and during power play is when your brutes and your radicals are gonna come in handy, right? The brutes obviously capable of hitting some very powerful shots, capable of making sure that the boundary is able to cross on the longer sides of the pitch. So it's going to be very interesting to see how those brutes are utilized if and when those brutes come in. I have a feeling that the power play might just be the best time for the brutes to come in, but perhaps we could see the meta evolve as time goes on. Perhaps people are going to save those brutes and be like, नहीं, पहली 2 overs में हम radical से भी बैटिंग करवा सकते हैं क्योंकि पहली 2 ओवर आसान है, लेकिन पिछले या बाकी के 3 ओवर्स में हो सकता है हमें ब्रूट की जरूरत पड़े जब हमारे ऊपर प्रेशर आए और हमें वो रन स्कोर करने हो.
Exactly. और यही बात बहुत सारे प्लेयर्स को बाद में चुभने वाली है. Should you play your brutes first, your radicals first, and the concept of shall we save anything for later, वो वाली बात तो आपको बहुत ही ज़्यादा ध्यान में रखनी पड़ेगी, because आप आज की पहली गेम खेल रहे हो, आज की नहीं, आप पूरे टूर्नामेंट की पहली गेम खेल रहे हो. अगर आप अपने सारे ट्रिक्स, अपने सारे स्ट्रैटेजीज अभी के अभी रिवील कर दोगे, बाद में इन द लेटर स्टेजेस ऑफ द टूर्नामेंट शायद आपको पछताना पड़े.
Oh yeah, certainly. I think इसलिए I feel like the meta is going to develop. एक ऐसा होगा कि हम आज जो गेम देखने वाले और जो 10वें दिन पे जो गेम देखेंगे उसमें बहुत बड़े अंतर होने वाले हैं. लेकिन with that said, I really am curious to see what the best players think about this game and what their approach is going to be like, because जो भी जिनका भी स्ट्राइक रेट ज्यादा है सबकी नजर उन पे रहने वाली है. सब लोग उनको देखेंगे और सब लोग उनको काउंटर करने की कोशिश करेंगे. आपने मेंशन किया कि अनुराग का सेकंड हाईएस्ट स्ट्राइक रेट है. आई एम श्योर जितने भी प्लेयर्स है अरीना में सब अनुराग को ऑब्जर्व करने वाले और देखने वाले कि वो एग्जैक्टली कर क्या रहे हैं. And then they're going to try to mimic his playstyle if it works, or they're going to try to counter it if they feel like it is too strong. And then the meta is going to develop. So that just sort of perks my ears up a bit. Because अगर मैं अनुराग हूँ, I'm trying to think about all of this and I'm like, okay, if all of these players are watching, if all of these guys are doing something, I need to have a plan B. मेरे पास, there has to be something in the back pocket that I can pull out when things get really, really hairy.
And that's when the captain of this team comes in. Chennai Wolves के जो captain है सुरजीत, वो real life में एक surgeon है. And as you all know, surgeons बहुत ही famous होते हैं एक चीज के लिए, having incredible hand stability.
Oh yeah.
And that is essential in gaming, right? So I think he's going to be the guy who makes all the decisions. In fact, अगर आप उनसे normally भी बात करो ना, he's a very calculative guy. Like बहुत ही ज़्यादा सोचते हैं, tactically अपने stats को and strategy को दिमाग में रखते हुए आगे बढ़ते हैं. So let's see what kind of decisions they come up with today. But enough discussing this. बहुत ही जल्दी game शुरू होने वाला है, and I can't wait to see what Chennai Wolves have in store for us, especially since they'll be batting first.
Hey, I wouldn't underestimate the Panthers if I were you. Those guys won the toss and said that they want to bowl first. Now, there's definitely some level of mind games and psychological tricks going on already.
Oh, definitely.
So I'm curious to see why the Sydney Panthers decided to bowl first. Perhaps we can find that out soon enough as soon as we jump into the game. Yeah, here we are. The game has begun. The very first ball, and it's going to be Manoj at strike. Bowling coming through from Chetan, and a beautiful ball as well. The batsman just unable to connect onto that one. A dot ball to start things off.
Well, that's not the momentum that Manoj was looking for. He's got an 85% 4 rate. मतलब उनकी boundaries काफी strong हो सकती है. And the moment I say that, he almost got a 4. पहले वाले fielder के सर के ऊपर से गेंद गई, but the second fielder got it. And that proves that despite the power play active, you still need to connect your shots much harder, much faster.
Certainly, and Manoj is the brute player of the team. He's coming into the power play. We're hoping to hit a few boundaries. So far the fielding has been good, but is this one going to go to the boundary? Doesn't seem like it. The fielder's got this one, and it looks like he has thrown over to the other fielder, and they're going to be okay. Another 2 runs scored here for the side of the Chennai Wolves. So far, so good. A little bit quiet to start things off, but nonetheless, a boundary could be coming through at any moment. Okay, good bowling. This one's high up in the air as well. Good chance for it to cross boundary, but no, the fielder's there again.
It seems like मनोज का फेवरेट शॉट लॉन्ग ऑन की तरफ है. उनने स्टार्टिंग के 2 बॉल्स में हमेशा उस तरफ ही डाले हैं और ये सारे ही बॉल्स में उनको 2-2 रन हासिल हुए हैं. अगर ये मोमेंटम चलता रहा तो he will end up scoring a decent amount of runs in the first over. लेकिन अगर एक बाउंड्री चाहिए तो शायद उन्हें अप्रोच बदलना पड़े.
बिल्कुल, and again a beautiful shot coming through. लेकिन वापस से फील्डर्स की तरफ बिल्कुल स्क्वायर लेग में मारा गया है ये शॉट और हम देख सकते हैं कि again and again लगता है इन्हें बाउंड्री क्रॉस करने में मुश्किल आ रही है. It's been a little bit difficult. The bowler has also been very smart key not to give him too many easy balls, or rather give him balls that he will hit, but he will hit towards the fielders. But it will end with a 4, and that's the end of the first over.
And the drums come on as the first boundary crosses over. इस बार जो बॉलर है चेतन, उनने अपनी अप्रोच बदली. पहली बार उनने ऐसा बॉल डाला जो उनके ऑफसाइड के स्टंप के लाइन पे बाहर जा रहा है. And that was the shot that Manoj was able to connect.
Yeah, we've got Jyoti Prakash, abbreviated to JP, coming through on the bowling now. Let's see what he can put out on the field. Anurag at strike. It's his very first ball. Beautiful shot straight across the boundary. And that is going to be a pulsar, powerful four.
That is indeed a tricky shot. अपने पहले ही गेंद पे रिवर्स स्वीप अटेम्प्ट करना काफी रिस्की हो सकता है, especially when the ball is not exactly a short one, somewhat decent good length पे गया था ये बॉल, तो still ऐसे शॉट्स अटेम्प्ट करना वो भी पहले ही अटेम्प्ट में.
Yeah. Beautiful batting coming again from Anurag. Another opportunity, but a swing and a miss. Mistiming that shot. Not going to be too pleased about that, but there's still 4 more balls to go. Jyoti Prakash is going to look to leave his mark.
Again a similar type of ball. हमेशा ऑफ स्टंप के बाहर के लाइन पे ही जा रहे हैं ये सारे के सारे बॉल्स ज्योति प्रकाश की तरफ से. And it's had mixed results, right? पहले बॉल पे बाउंड्री, सेकंड बॉल पे डॉट, दूसरे बॉल पे 2. So I don't think अभी तक उनको अपने बॉलिंग स्ट्रेटजी चेंज करने की जरूरत है. But hey, the moment I say that, he does change things up. Now he's going to be bowling over the wicket.
Oh, okay. And again the ball does not connect, so another dot ball here for Jyoti Prakash. Good bowling coming through from him so far. Of course, he's not going to be too pleased about that one boundary he let go, but this is the power play over. This is the opportunity for the Wolves to score those runs, so you have to go in with that expectation. But just as I say that, another ball coming through.
Seems like these experiments are turning into a little too expensive of an affair for JP over here.
Yeah.
पहला बॉल जो मिडिल स्टंप के लाइन पे गया, this time goes all the way across the boundary. उसके पहले जब मुन ने अपना साइड चेंज किया तो भी उनने एक बाउंड्री दे दी थी. So it seems like he will stick to the good old strats now. But still एक ओवर में 10 रन हासिल किए हैं यहाँ पे चेन्नई वुल्व्स में अपने सेकंड ओवर में, एंड अब तक एक भी विकेट नहीं गवाया है. I think this is a decent enough pace.
बिल्कुल, I think ये काफी अच्छी शुरुआत है for the side of Chennai Wolves. I mean, उन लोगों ने 23 रन स्कोर किया. Sure, you would hope कि आपको और थोड़े boundaries मिले, especially power play के टाइम पे. लेकिन you have to take and you have to work with what you have. So 23 runs is going to be what they score in the 2 overs. And now that we are out of power play, we can see that there are 5 fielders protecting the boundary and inside outfield, as we can see very clearly.
Exactly, and now because the power play is over, this is when Manoj's powerful shots will come into a great amount of effect. याद रखना, अनुराग प्रभाकर, he has a 33% 6 rate, and अब तक उन्होंने एक भी 6 लगाया नहीं है. It will be harder, especially now that the power play is over.
Yeah, I believe there was a 3 attempted at that ball, but cancelled at the last moment as soon as he saw the ball coming flying in. Quick reactions by the fielder. Oh, and a swing and a miss caught by the wicketkeeper. That's going to be a dot ball.
Dot ball. Cover drive attempt किया था, but the length was a little, sorry, not the length, the height was a little too much और उन्होंने उस हिसाब से swing नहीं किया.
Another shot attempted. Great one towards the fine leg. But again, it finds the fielder and not the boundary. Dive to cover the run. And the players are trying to make the best situation out of a worse situation. Well, 3 more balls to go in this over. Saurabh has done quite well for himself so far.
Nice.
And he continues to do so. 2 runs will be found.
That was a close call.
Yeah, a close shave, but the batsman is safe. The dive keeps him in play. Anurag is going to be at strike again. Saurav has done a very, very good job of shutting down the tempo that the Wolves established in those first 2 overs.
Exactly right, and Saurav isn't even their deadliest bowler yet, and is despite all of that, उनने अब तक एक भी boundary relinquish नहीं की है. So सिर्फ bowling ही नहीं, उनकी fielding भी बहुत ही ज़्यादा अच्छी है.
Bilkul. I mean, I've seen the off spinners and the leg spinners were utilized in the first 2 overs. That is going to be a no ball, I believe, but never mind, that is not a no ball, excuse me. So far, 2 runs each. And all the balls except the second one. And we'll see if that is the story of the final one as well. No, it is not. Chennai Wolves, as always, ending things out with a bang with another pulsar. And it's 125, powerful 4.
Saurav must have been feeling so bad right now. बहुत ही अच्छा pressure बनाए रखा throughout the over, लेकिन last ball पे एक boundary relinquish कर दी.
Bilkul.
And there goes all that momentum. But still, limiting them to a run rate of 10.3 is decent enough. It's not impossible.
Certainly, and you have to remember, because there are 5 overs, the batsmen are going to be more reckless. Manoj and Anurag are going to give it their best shot. They're going to go in for those wide ones.
Oh no.
Didn't really get the catch, but that's okay. Prevented the ball from reaching the boundary. Make sure that the batsmen are limited to 2 runs. And this is still really good pressure from the side of the Panthers.
Another shot in the same direction. Long off की तरफ एक बार फिर से दिया गया है, and एक बार फिर से 2 runs हासिल.
बिल्कुल. Manoj will continue to be at strike. हम लोग देखेंगे कि वो powerful shots मार पाते हैं नहीं. उसी के साथ shot शायद सीधा फील्डर के हाथ में जाएगा नहीं. 1 bounce and a straight throw towards the wicket, but the batsman was safe.
Akshu has bowled some really nice bowls this time around, लेकिन उनकी fielding में थोड़ी कमी रह गई है. Not that he's given away any boundaries, so that's still good, but those could have been wickets right there, and that will put so much more pressure on Chennai.
Oh, that was a close one again, but the batsman is safe. He is A-okay. And another 2 runs going the way of the Wolves. 43 in 3.4 overs. Hoping that they can at least cross the 60 mark, so they can make it somewhat competitive, and it's for the bowling side, and that's well, that ball's run off. Another boundary coming through for the side of the Wolves,
and that puts them at 47. Every time you start thinking that Sydney has put them under enough pressure, every time you think that they're doing well, preventing the boundaries from going across,
and
they
that
go away.
Is a catch, a lenskart out. Manoj will be leaving the field after a beautiful set of overs. He's done quite well for himself, but it's time for the new batsman to come in. I believe it is going to be Anil. And he is at bat, a left-hand batsman, by the way.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Last over, 4 wickets at your disposal. बिल्कुल भी pressure नहीं है यहाँ पे चेन्नई के ऊपर. They just need to go for the risky shots right now. They can afford to do so. And they need to get those boundaries.
Oh, wow.
We speak about the boundaries, and this one goes flying across the finish line.
Beautiful 6 coming in from Anil. Right away, he steps onto the pitch and starts off the bang.
Yeah, putting that weight onto his front leg.
Yeah,
driving it across.
Not a beautiful start for Azanto. He's not going to be too pleased about that.
Definitely not. You don't want your first ball that you throw to go all the way out for the 6.
Oh, yeah. And Azan is the medium-fast bowler for the team, so he is going to be looking to apply some more pressure here in this final over. Make sure that the batsman is afraid, but so far, no fear whatsoever. And that continues to be the case, but this time around, the batsman might be questioning his decision.
I think it wasn't the problem of a decision, it was more along the lines of timing, but you can't afford dot balls, not in the last over. You need to go for everything you can in this last over and get the score across the 60-run mark.
Oh, beautiful shot coming in from Anil, but again, well fielded, a chance for a third, and they will get it. The Chennai Wolves playing things a bit too close to the chest, but it works out, and now it's Anurag.
Yeah, they need to go for these risky runs. They need to go for the 2s and 3s. उनके पास wickets तो काफी सारे हैं, तो डरने की कोई बात नहीं है. लेकिन आखिरी 3 balls इस inning के, and this one goes all the way for a yorker, straight into the hands.
And that's another lenskart out. As Anurag gets a bit too ambitious. And Azan from the Panthers is going to be quite happy about that one. Started off with a 6, but did manage to take a wicket.
Looking closely through his lenskart glasses, setting up traps, setting up those fielders right in position where he expects the batsman to hit.
Yeah.
Anil taking strike once again. He's played very well so far. But I'm curious whether Sujit will get to bat at all or not. And this one is still going all the way towards third man.
Uh-oh, this ball could get risky. But the runs were there. The batsmen were quick. They've made sure that they fulfilled their cardio workouts before they came here. And that's a 2 for the last ball of this over.
Oh my
High
God.
up in the air, all the way across the boundary again. A pulsar 6 to finish things off for the Chennai Wolves.
What a stylish way to end the innings. Just as stylish as the Pulsar 125.
Indeed.
All new Pulsar Mania's here. Maniacs wanted.
Piyush, hey, I was just on lenskart. Your price at $999, right?
नहीं करण रुपीज है
I can't be seen wearing glasses under 1 lakh. Price थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो सकता है क्या?
करण ये बढ़िया प्राइस है इट्स ओनली बिकॉज वी डोंट हैव मिडिलमैन
90,000?
आप कहीं और से ले लो 80,000 आई एम गोइंग बाय
अमीरों की हाई लगेगी तुझे.
फैक्ट्री वाले प्राइसेस, नो मिडलमैन. लेंसकार्ट, डाउनलोड द ऐप.
लेकिन ये पाइप चलेगा.
फिनोलेक्स पाइप्स, पीढ़ियां बदलेंगी, पाइप नहीं.
We'll see if they're capable of chasing that and if their strategy is going to work. And on the bowling side, for the side of the Chennai Wolves, we're going to be starting with Mr. Sima.
On strike, we have Pradyumna. A very impressive 4 percentage rate. 91% of all his shots in the qualifiers were 4s. But he's off to a rather slow start as he mistimes that shot.
Yeah, a little rough here for Pradyuman, but nonetheless, we'll see him utilize the brute power to try and chase the target.
Of 65.
A bit of a slow start, and I think there was a misfield coming through, so that will be a 3 instead of a 2.
Well, at least it wasn't a boundary. Every single run counts over here. याद है ना किस तरह से सिडनी की बॉलिंग चल रही थी. उन स्टार्टिंग के 5 बॉल में वो अच्छा खासा प्रेशर बनाते थे, बाउंड्री प्रिवेंट करते थे, लेकिन लास्ट बॉल में हमेशा एक 4 या 6 चला ही जाता था.
Yeah, काफी रिस्की रन अटेम्प्ट किया, लेकिन सेफ रहेंगे. और अभी वापस से प्रद्युमन स्ट्राइक पे.
Sliding a little towards the right, and it's square towards the top of the bat. If it was a little more powerful, it probably would have gone for a boundary all the way. But this time, the mid-wicket and square leg fielders are bang on.
Yeah, the power play continues to be quieter than the Panthers would prefer. But perhaps that changes now. No, it does not. They're going to have to be happy with the 2 that they found.
And that's exactly...
Rather 1, excuse me.
Yeah. And that's exactly why Chennai have placed 2 of their players outside of the 30-yard circle towards point and square leg. काफी सारे ये जो players है सिडनी की तरफ से towards the back end मारने की कोशिश करते हैं. ये वाला भी. It goes all the way. The fielder can't get there in time.
Yeah, beautiful boundary coming through. And the Panthers, well, they can finally breathe a sigh of relief as the first over is over.
And after their first over was done, even Sydney was at 10 for no loss. So Sydney Panthers are going at a decent pace.
Yeah.
Chennai really need to put up the pressure.
And now it's going to be Ajay, the leg spinner, in the second over of this power play. Let's see if he can manage to add the pressure, continue to pile it on against the Panthers, who are starting to feel the heat a little bit. Don't really have the best score for the first over, but
hey, at least you didn't lose anyone.
yeah, you haven't lost a wicket so far, and that counts for something. But again, it's only going to be 2 runs.
It seems like every time Pradyumna tries to go for that shot towards square leg, the fielder will intercept it. They're not making as much of the power play as they wanted to.
And this is credit to the bowlers, right? They understand that if all they bowl are shots towards the square leg, if that's the only option remaining for the field for the batsman, then there's a good chance that they're going to be able to stop those boundaries from coming in, just like they have done now. And that's going to be 3 runs for the Panthers again. Might just be a little bit disappointed by that.
Yeah, slight instance of misfielding, but hey, at least no boundary relinquished. And that too against the guy who has the highest 4 rate in the entire tournament. I think that's still very impressive.
Oh, and that one's off for the boundary. Nowhere to be found except in the stands. And that's 6. A bounce on 6 at that. Beautiful shot coming through from Azan. Right in the nick of time to relieve the pressure.
We were speaking about their square leg being slightly weak, but the moment they switch over towards point, it turns into a massive 6. This one, slightly off by the timing. The ball hit towards the top of the bat, which made sure that the power isn't really enough to toss it over the boundary.
Yep. Chipping away at the bat. Not exactly where I believe Azan intended to hit it, but still. You will take what you can get for now. 2 balls remaining in this power play. That's a powerful shot, but it's straight towards the fielder.
Whether you try to hit it in a square way or whether you go for the reverse sweep, square leg and point seem to be their target areas for the time being, regardless of the kind of shot they play.
Yeah,
but Ajay, this time, he's changed over his approach.
Oh yeah, and I believe that one will cross the boundary. That should be a 4. A pulsar 4. And again, Sydney Panthers will relieve some pressure at the final ball of the power play. 29 so far in 2 overs. Not bad at all considering Chennai's overall score. However, keeping up this pace might just prove to be difficult because now the power play is over. The boundaries are going to be well guarded now, as we will see the fielding positions change.
Yep. Coming onto the pitch next is Anurag once again. And even though he has some of the most impressive batting stats in the entire game, his econ rating so far is 8.5. Not the best, but hey, he's done a phenomenal job in the first innings. Let's see if he can make sure that his opponents can't keep up to the momentum that he set initially.
And again, just being very, very mindful of where the fielders are. And making sure that the batsmen, or rather, Azan didn't really have much of a choice except to just send that ball straight towards the square leg.
A lot of preference being given to the leg side over here. It seems like the entire team of Sydney has just simply not explored the long on and long off option.
Speaking of which, and that's enough. A lenskart on with that. The Sydney Panthers start to get a bit too comfortable, and Azan will pay the price.
Lenskart out. I feel like I'm cursing them right now. I just mentioned that they haven't played long on and long off at all.
Yeah, you were saying.
And for good reason. For good reason. The moment they try to toss the ball in that direction, they lose a wicket. But hey, we are 2.2 overs in. They've already scored 30 runs. They're well on their way to catching up. I think they can afford to lose one player now.
Yeah, I mean, this is still some really good batting coming out from the side of the Panthers. And now it's going to be Akshu who stepped onto the pitch, but it's still Pradyuman at strike. It's going to continue to be him as they find 2. No, never mind. A third attempt. It has a misfield from the side of the Wolves. And that's going to be 3 runs ran. And you're going to be quite happy about that if you're the Panthers.
Exactly.
But that does mean that now it is going to be Akshu at strike. That is Akshat, who is the radical batsman for the side of the Panthers. As I believe the bowler is changing up some of those fielding positions now. Trying to adjust to the new batsman. And what does he have to say about this? Well, same as always. We'll take the 1s and the 2s.
Even though they've changed the position of one of their fielders, the fielder who was playing on square leg has now come a little deeper inside the circle. Meanwhile, they still have nobody playing outside the circle towards long on and long off. However, there's 2 players defending cover. So, yeah, I guess they are expecting Akshu to change things up.
Well, 29 and 14. A very achievable target, but risks need to be taken, risks such as that one, and yeah.
Too short of a ball, over the height of the shoulder.
Oh yeah. The Panthers continue to feel the pressure. As the Chennai Wolves, they've done a good job of halting that momentum. At least force the Sydney Panthers to take a breather and ask themselves some pertinent questions.
One last ball left in this over. And that will indeed put quite a lot of pressure onto the batting team. Ball tossed in the similar direction, going towards cover this time around. Or rather mid-wicket, because this batsman bats on the other side. But still, I'm starting to get nervous now, Floki.
Yeah.
They still have a massive target left. 38 runs only. They need 60, more than that. I mean, and getting to that point is going to be very difficult, especially with only 2 overs left. I guess the only silver lining over here is that Sydney Panthers ke paas abhi bhi kafi sare wickets hai. So that should save them.
Yeah, certainly. I think they can afford to play a little bit more riskier now. Start to really go for those boundaries. Even if the balls aren't really meant for that. And, well, the attempt comes through. Hits the batsman in the chest, but batsman's okay. And Anurag.
Yeah. Nice little off spin over there.
Yeah,
and
sorry,
it becomes so difficult to play those off spin balls, especially when you're playing back foot.
Excuse me, I meant Pradyuman. Will get another chance at this, but only 2 runs found again for the side of the Panthers. As the Chennai Wolves doing a very good job of protecting those boundaries, just making sure that the Panthers really have to struggle to get those 2s and 3s up. And at this rate, I don't think things are going to be looking all that good for the Panthers.
Definitely not. Forget about 2s and 3s. They can't afford to have any dot balls anymore.
Oh, and speaking of which, a good reverse sweeper again. The fielder is there. And Surjit, some phenomenal bowling coming through from him.
Yeah.
Very, very mindful of the pitch.
And Pradyumna also, he tried to be wary of the fielder's positions. He swung all the way out towards his leg side and attempted that reverse sweep, hoping that it would catch the 3rd man off guard. Ball going in a similar direction this time, but again met with the same fate.
Yeah, this is what worked for them in the power play over, so that's what they're trying to replicate here. But again, it seems like Surjit has already accounted for that. And as a result, the Sydney Panthers still 21 runs short. And with the number of balls left, or rather balls left, it's not going to be the easiest task. Well, that ball is lofted, but they will only be able to find 1 run on the back of that shot.
And they really need to start changing things up. They desperately need boundaries. Only 2 boundaries for the side of Sydney Panthers so far. You need a lot more than that. At least उनने अपने bowling के time पे भी काफी सारे 2 runs and 3 runs दिए थे, लेकिन almost हर over में last ball उनका boundary जाता ही था. Not this time around.
Yeah, misjudging the height of the ball. And as a result, it's not really able to connect, but there's still 1 more over remaining, and the Chennai Wolves, they will pull out their fast medium. That is Anil.
He's got all the responsibility in the world right now. He's got a very, very achievable rate to defend. 20 runs needed in 1 single over. They need multiple boundaries. They need at least 3 sixes to even stand a chance, but they won't even get this one.
Oh, and I believe that's an out. Or is it? And it is.
Finger raised, batsman sent back to the pavilion. I was talking about Chennai just having to bowl dots and 2s, not give away too many boundaries, but they do one better. They send one backing back, and now it's time for Saurabh to descend onto the pitch. Can he change the pace? 5 balls at his disposal. Boundary needed on every single one of them.
A balanced batsman, let's see what he can pull through. That is a good shot, but might just go straight into the fielder's arms, as that's well fielded. And again, only really finding the 2s. Not going to be too pleased about that if you're the Panthers. You're staring at 4 balls and 18 runs. You need those 6s.
Yeah, you need at least 1 6 and 4 4s right now to
All
win
three
this
to call that
match.
there's a wide. It's the only real hope remaining, but no such
Damn.
hope whatsoever. It looks like Saurabh was baited beautifully there by Anil.
Nazar hati aur durghatna ghati. What
Indeed.
a well set trap by Anil.
Yeah, that ball. Well, it looked like Saurabh was trying to send it to the long offside, but the fielder was already there. As you start to get a little bit friskier and a little bit more loose with how you play these balls.
What?
And that is what is required. A good shot, but the fielder's going to be there and the ball just does not have enough momentum to cross the boundary.
I think
and
we
you
can
can
call
see.
it.
Yeah, I think the Wolves, they know they've got this one short of a couple of wides and no balls.
Yeah. And that was such a risky ball to throw as well. That was a full toss. If it went for a 6 all the way, it really would have given Sydney a fighting chance.
Yeah, you just putting your hands together and praying at this point a boundary comes through, but I
still
can't
think
help
it's
but
not enough.
think, yep, it might just be too little too late. As that's a 4, but the 4 came in a bit too late. Or did it? Well, this final ball, it will tell the tale. And another beautiful shot. Got by the fielder.
Even if that ball went sailing for a 6, I think the winner was already decided. But no, Chennai don't just want to win the first match of GEPL, they want to win it in style. They want to make a statement while doing so.
Yep. And I have to say, this time around, nazar to nahi hati, lekin durghatna bilkul ghati.
I think nazar agar hat bhi jati to durghatna ghatne hi wali thi.
Exactly. I don't think they had any choice over there at the side of the Panthers. But nonetheless, a really, really fantastic set of innings coming through from the Wolves and the Panthers. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for them.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, ये तो सिर्फ पहला game था. We have a lot more e-cricket action in store for you guys. Lots of boundaries, lots of powerful shots, and some amazing mind games coming up ahead. तो कहीं जाइएगा मत. हम आपसे मिलेंगे break के उस पार.
All new Pulsar Mania's here. Maniacs wanted.
Piyush, here I was just on lenskart. ये जो price है $999, right?
नहीं करण, रुपीज है.
I can't be seen wearing glasses under 1 lakh. Price थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो सकता है क्या?
करण, ये बढ़िया प्राइस है. It's only because we don't have middlemen.
90,000?
आप कहीं और से ले लो.
80,000.
I'm going. Bye.
अमीरों की हाई लगेगी तुझे.
फैक्ट्री वाले प्राइसेस, नो मिडलमैन. लेंसकार्ट, डाउनलोड द ऐप.
लेकिन ये पाइप चलेगा.
फिनोलेक्स पाइप्स, पीढ़ियां बदलेंगी, पाइप नहीं.
What a dominating performance by Chennai Wolves. A big round of applause, guys. Surjit, Akshat. This is what victory looks like. Surjit, GPL पहली बार हो रहा है. This was the first match and you're the first winning captain. कैसा लग रहा है?
बहुत बढ़िया लग रहा है. इसमें तो कोई दो राय नहीं है. मेरे को टॉस हारने के बाद भी लग रहा था कि मैंने बैट फर्स्ट मेरी आ गई है, तो मुझे लग रहा था कि अब कोई फंबल ना हो जाए. 3 ओवर में 37 रन थे, लेकिन हैट्स ऑफ टू अनिल भाई यार, क्या इनिंग यार. 64 जब लगा दिया, मेरे को पता था आधा वो तभी हार गए वो, इसीलिए. It was a wonderful team performance.
Definitely, yaar. And what about the strategy? What was the strategy going in?
Strategy, we were ready to bat first, because all my team members were saying we will take ball first.
Acha.
We were ready. If we bat first, we have to chase 65. 65 is the figure in that our team mind. So I think we have achieved
बोला
it.
था कि we'll go for bowling first, but you as a captain took the decision. नहीं, हम पहले bat करेंगे.
नहीं. He won the toss, ना?
नहीं. But what was your strategy? आपको अगर आप toss जीतते?
I didn't want my team's morale down, so I said we want to bat first.
अच्छा, okay.
Just a mind game, nothing else.
And कोई figure था कि यार इतने runs बनाने हैं?
हाँ, मैंने जैसे बोला ना 65 था मेरे माइंड में. अगर
yes.
65 मुझे लगता है हम आराम से डिफेंड कर सकते हैं, जैसी हमारी बॉलिंग है, आपने देख ही ली है अभी. तो 65 था हमारे माइंड में. अगर हम बैट फर्स्ट करेंगे ना, क्योंकि बैट फर्स्ट में ऐसा होता है कि दिमाग में ना फंबलनेस चलती है यार, कितना स्कोर हमें करना है कितना नहीं, वो पहले हम माइंड में सेट करके रखे हैं कि 65 तो मिनिमम हमें करना ही करना है। तो तीनों
And the team aspect, let's talk about, क्योंकि देखिए GEPL is a game of skill, it's a game of strategy and of course teamwork. तो टीम के साथ पहली बार कॉम्पिटिटिवली खेलना कैसा लगा वो?
हमारी टीम में तो सभी लोग कैप्टन हैं, क्योंकि मैं ब्लेस्ड हूँ क्योंकि मेरी टीम में ऑलरेडी 2 चैंपियंस लोग हैं। अनुराग प्रभाकर अभी जैसे कि आप जानते हो क्राफ्टन का टूर्नामेंट हुआ है तो उसमें रनअप रहे हैं। अनिल भी अदर गेम के 2 लैन ऑलरेडी खेल चुका है तो उसके पास एक्सपीरियंस है, वो टेम्परामेंट है। यहाँ पे गेम टेम्परामेंट का होने वाला है मेरे हिसाब से।
Well said, well said. Ladies and gentlemen, we are cutting in for a short break, but we'll be back soon. Over and out to our analysts.
All new Pulsar Mania's here. Maniacs wanted.
lenskart. Download the app or visit your nearest store.
लेकिन ये पाइप चलेगा।
फिनोलेक्स पाइप्स, पीढ़ियां बदलेंगी, पाइप नहीं।
Well, there you are. You have the first winner here of the Global eCricket Premier League, Chennai Wolves there, of course. It was a tight contest, but in the end, after setting a target of 65, they win by 11 runs. Probably an analyst or a cast a curse, you must say?
Not a curse. We all almost said that Chennai would win this game because, Chennai, you always associate them with winning whenever it comes to cricket. But, Roshan, we talked about batting. But what Chennai did was they excelled with the ball. And I think that was, for me, the biggest surprise of this first game of the Global eCricket Premier League.
Now, remember, they won the toss and they chose to bowl. Of course, I'm pretty sure they knew what they were doing out there, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Sydney Panthers won the toss and they opted to bowl. So, I mean, yes, even Sydney Panthers in the last 2 overs, those 4th and 5th overs, they were few dot deliveries, a couple of wickets here and there. They did not let the score get away from them in the last 2 overs. So you would think, okay, 65 in 5 overs on a mobile cricket platform, yes, it is probably chaseable. But those last 3 overs from Chennai, I think that is where the game, totally changed. बिल्कुल game बदल दिया last 3 overs.
Well, of course, you talk about cricket playing. You're trying to play as a unit, as a good bowling unit, as a good batting unit. And have a look at the scores here, the batting scorecard here, in fact. Now, a good start by Pradyumna. You, of course, see that, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, Pradyumna has, a high 4 hitting percentage. Almost 92% of the balls he plays, he hits for a boundary. However, he was not able to get off to the best possible start. They were chasing. This is this chasing scorecard. So this was the side batting second. हम अजान और अक्षु की बात करें, उनका स्ट्राइक रेट जो है 200 से ऊपर है. So that run out, अक्षु का जो run out हुआ है, that was the pivotal turning point of the match in that sense, you can say. और अगर हम एक नजर हम bowling card पर भी डालेंगे, because like I said, चेन्नई ने पूरा जो गेम है bowling पर बदला है. जो उनके last 3 overs आए थे, अनुराग bowled the 3rd over, Sujit bowled the 4th over, and there was Anil who bowled the 5th over. So from that perspective, you just look at that. 7 runs in 1 over, 8 runs in 1 over with 2 wickets. That was Anil, he bowled the last over, and then you had 1 for 9. That was Anurag. That was the 3rd over, and it was the game-changing over from my perspective at least. So those last 3 overs, I mean, look at that. You have 24 runs in 3 overs, 2 wickets, game-changing bowling from Chennai Wolves.
Well, if you compare right from the start, if you compare the first two, of course, power plays, for at least Chennai Wolves, they were pretty decent right at the start. 12 runs in the first over.
Yeah.
They tried to capitalize on the second one.
Yeah.
Would you actually get Sydney Panthers to say that they did do well with their power plays?
No, they did not. I mean, like I said, I don't want to blame anybody because it's a game. We're playing for passion. We're playing for the love of cricket. Like in Pradyumna, like I said, he has a high 4 percentage, and then you depend on the other 2 batsmen to get your 6s in. That probably did not happen too well for Sydney, and that's where the game turned really. And this is the Chennai Wolves scorecard, the batting scorecard. They got off to a good start. Manoj and Anurag. Manoj is their brute batsman, 24 of 12. That's a strike rate of 200. Anurag almost a strike rate of 200 as well. So 64 for 2. You feel, कि हाँ, ये score mobile platform पे chase हो सकता है. But like I said, those last 3 overs from Chennai, game-changing. And I think, we have 2 matches of Chennai today. We have a 5th game of the day is also Chennai. So a lot of teams will be thinking, you know what, इनके last 3 overs जो है ना, बहुत ज़्यादा strong है.
Well, now, of course, do you feel Chennai were under pressure? Because you saw the openers were right there from the start and stayed at the crease for quite some time, but couldn't really score runs.
Yeah, Chennai didn't start off very well. Let's be very honest. They didn't start off very well. You had, Manoj and Anurag, but then later on, they just made up time. एक तरीका होता है कि आप wickets ना खोए. वो wickets उन्होंने नहीं खोए. So they used their brute batsmen and their 2 radical batsmen, the top 3. ये चीज़ दोनों टीमों से हमें देखने को मिली है कि they've used their brute and their 2 radical batsmen. So from that perspective, if you look at the match summary, you will see Chennai, they kept their wickets in hand, got those runs on the board, and then did the magic with those 3 overs in the end with the ball.
Well, of course, one thing which you also have to applaud is the running between the wickets, because if you see in Chennai Wolves, it was hard for them to get the shots, the 4s and 6 at the start, but they were running pretty well.
It's
but
all
through
about
the mobile,
timing.
of course, yeah.
It's all about timing. हम अपने viewers को बता दें कि what happens in the mobile platform, the real cricket game that we are playing. The bowler in charge, the field is there, the automatic setting is there, but the bowler has to, hit the button with the timing. वो timing बहुत ज़रूरी है. वो batting में भी ज़रूरी है, वो bowling में भी ज़रूरी है, वो fielding में भी ज़रूरी है. So from that perspective, you can say, you know what, the fielder, the bowler who was handling the device at that particular time, he was doing brilliantly.
Now, of course, there's plenty of drama, remember, in that last over. Started with a run out, eventually another wicket.
Yeah.
That was the turning point.
That was the turning point. The 3rd over of the innings for Sydney Panther, they lost that run out. They had that run out. They lost their key batsman. They lost Akshu, who was run out, and he has a strike rate in excess of 200. And from there onwards, वहाँ से जो कहते हैं ना, वक्त बदल दिया, जज्बात बदल दिए, पूरा game बदल दिया, and that's where Chennai won the game.
Well, absolutely. Well, we'll have a look at the man of the match. There he is, Anurag. Incredible 23 runs in that innings which he played. A strike rate of 177. Incredible stuff. And of course, consistent.
And, when he scored those runs, 23 runs, I didn't think he was man of the match performance. Man of the match performance आई bowling से. वो जो एक ओवर उन्होंने कराया, like I keep saying again and again, वो तीसरा ओवर जो उन्होंने कराया केवल 9 रन दिए और वो एक रन आउट आया उस ओवर में. That changed the game. So it's an all-round performance from Anurag. I think it's a deserved man of the match performance.
Now, of course, Chennai would be going for playing their next game in the evening as well. Probably the last game of the day that we're going to have. A lot of confidence for them, isn't it, while they start?
Absolutely, a lot of confidence. They have already done half their job. मतलब आज का जो उनका काम था, 2 मैच खेलने हैं. First match done, you expect a winning start from Chennai. They've got the points on the board. It increases your confidence. It's a long tournament. We have 56 matches in the league stage itself, and then the knockout. So you can say, okay, you know what, Chennai, well done on your good start. Sydney, they'll be, okay, disappointed, but they didn't do too badly. The thing is, all the teams, and I'm telling you, I'm giving you this hint, all the teams, notice how Chennai have bowled in this match.
Well, of course, one of the very crucial components was the partnerships, talking about Sydney Panthers there. There it is. Good opening, like we did mention about that. 31 of 14. Azan and Pradyumna. Of course, Pradyumna was the pick for me personally. But at the end of the day, you see that opening partnership, which could have actually done well. They did well, but not sufficient enough.
Slow start. Probably not as many boundaries as they would have liked. And I think that's where the game turned for them. Pradyumna was there till the end. But again, probably needed to finish the game. Didn't happen. Good try. Probably the second match he'll do better.
Well, absolutely. Well, it's just the first game, remember. They have plenty of games to play forward. But when you're trying to build up, one of the most important components of real cricket playing is the 4s and 6s, because the amount of 4s and 6s is proportionate to the victory. So if you have a look at the 4s and 6s, massive that from Chennai, at least for the start. And then eventually Sydney Panthers falling short.
Yeah, boundaries in this sort of a format, in this sort of a mobile cricket platform, in this global e-cricket Premier League, boundaries dekh ke bahut maza aata hai. And like we mentioned, we're playing at a big ground. We're playing at the MCG, 80 meters boundary. So you need to have that perfect timing, perfect connect with the ball. And I think some of the players who were able to do that, I think that was brilliant to watch. You look at Manoj, he scored 24 of 12. There were 6s in there. There were boundaries in there. Anurag. And then, of course, Pradyumna. Not as many 6s, but like I said, his 4 percentage of 92% is really high. So he got a couple of boundaries in there
which
as
includes,
well.
of course, that between Pradyumna and Akshu as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And the only thing that I would say again and again is that run out really cost Sydney. I think that's where they lost the complete momentum of that game, and it turned in Chennai's favor.
Well, Chennai, like we say, synonymous to victory. But again, Panthers looking forward, they'll have the next game up as well. But Chennai, certainly a lot of talking points for them in this game. They'll go forward, back to the drawing boards, and eventually come out all guns blazing yet again.
Absolutely. I think, like I said, teams have been noticing what Chennai would be doing, and they will also be noticing what Sydney have been doing. So from that aspect, they'll see, okay, you know what, unki jo strength hai, unke top 3 batsmen hai, and probably try and get them early on,
Right.
or in fact the first 3 overs where the teams can really attack them. The last 2-3 overs, I thought Sydney were really strong, but Chennai was stronger.
Absolutely. Now talk about the opening partnership. That is the kind of partnership we'd want. Remember, in a span of 5 overs, anywhere between 60 to 80 could be a nice total. And of course, Chennai did start well with a 47-run partnership along with Anurag and Manoj.
Absolutely. Manoj, the brute player, the radical player, Anurag. The difference between brute and radical is brute has a proper connect, perfect timing. उनका margin of error थोड़ा सा कम रहता है. Radical player can play according to the situation. So मुझे लगा कि उनका तालमेल बहुत अच्छा बैठा. They started off slow, but they were able to pick boundaries later on in their partnership. And as you said, that was a game-changing partnership. They gave them that platform. They got that excess of 50 runs. जब आप 10 का run rate के ऊपर चले जाएंगे ना, so that is always going to be tough for the chasing side.
Well, absolutely. Like we did mention, we're going to witness a lot of 4s and 6s eventually. But this one for this game brought to you by Pulsar NS 125 Showstopper.
So this was Manoj and Anurag. They were really, that was a great reverse shot from Anurag, and he had that knack of picking those boundaries. इनका जो partnership है थोड़ा slow start हुआ, लेकिन जो इनका run rate है, once it was over 10, it never came back down, and as a result of that, Chennai were able to set up a huge total. और किसी भी format में, किसी भी platform पे, चाहे ecricket Premier League क्यों रहा हो, इसमें भी अगर आपका run rate 10 के ऊपर जाएगा, that pressure is always going to be on you. So Anil, Anurag, Manoj, the top 3 batsmen for Chennai, they did really well. And this is Sydney. यहाँ पे अगर हम देखें, Pradyumna, again he had that 6 of 4. He started off well. Azan started off well. Their opening partnership was good, but it never really got that momentum. वो momentum आना बहुत ज़रूरी है. And I think once they reached that 3rd over stage, जहाँ पे momentum नहीं आया, after that the pressure started building and building and building. So from that perspective, this is where the slower start hurt Sydney.
Well, the 4s and 6s were there, but so were a few wickets which fell down, and eventually 2 wickets in that last over changed the course of things. We'll have a look at the wickets there, brought to you by Lenskart.
Yes, this is Chennai's innings. अगर आप यहाँ पे देखें, इनकी जो wickets थी काफी late आई. Sydney, again, they had a good start, good partnership. A little on the slower side. अगर आप कहें कि they are trying to chase down 65. This run out was the crucial one. They had to run for it. At this stage पे, they had to go for everything, and that run out is what changed the momentum for Sydney. And our casters were saying कि long on, log off पे hit नहीं कर रहे हैं. And when they tried doing that, they ended up giving their wicket. So change of momentum. Whenever Sydney wicket fell, there was a change of momentum, and they could not, come up from that.
इसलिए कहते हैं नजर घटी दुर्घटना घटी तो खेलिए GEPL lenskart blue glass के साथ. So of course, now what is the road ahead here for, of course, Chennai play their next game here as well today. A winning momentum started already.
I mean, they've started off the tournament really well. Chennai would want to win their second game. That is today against the New York Apes. So they will say, okay, you know what? We will win 2 out of 2 on the very first day, and सबको बता देंगे कि हम ये tournament जीतने के लिए आए हैं.
Well, absolutely. We have Neeraj down there. Let's have a look. Well, there we have the first winners of the Global Cricket Premier League. Chennai Wolves, after setting a target of 65, eventually winning the match by 11 runs. Well, that affects the points table because they go to the top of the table now.
Absolutely. Top of the table, first match, first win, 2 points on the table. And, they're playing 2 games today. New York Apes are also playing 2 games today. So you take a look at, the points table. They'll say, okay, you know what? आज 2 मैच जीतने का मौका है. दोनों मैच जीतते हैं, 4 पॉइंट्स लेते हैं, एंड दैट्स अ वेरी वेरी गुड स्टार्ट टू द टूर्नामेंट. एंड न्यूयॉर्क एप्स विल आल्सो से, यू नो व्हाट, आज हमारे पास भी वही मौका है. सो you know, a strong start to the tournament sends a big message to the rest of the teams.
Remember, you get 2 points when in the game, 1 in case it's a draw, which is of course very rare, but 2 points when you go forward, and that's what all the teams are expecting. Chennai would be expecting a 4 for Chen ki Neend, isn't it?
Absolutely. You win both matches and you get a very nice sound sleep. और most runs पे भी नजर डालेंगे एक बार कि किसने ज़्यादा रन बनाए, सबसे ज़्यादा रन बनाए इस पहले मुकाबले में. तो 3 जो खिलाड़ी थे चेन्नई के, मनोज, अनुराग और अनिल, उनके स्ट्राइक रेट बहुत ज़बरदस्त रहे और उनकी जो पार्टनरशिप्स भी बहुत अच्छी रही. प्रद्युम्न ने सिडनी के लिए 31 रन बनाए. He was the top scorer in the game, but unfortunately
For
could
losing
not
cause, yeah.
take his side to victory. Yes.
Well, of course, they're going to build on this runs that they've created because it's going to help them eventually. Remember, you also have the player with the most runs prize for them as well. Well, runs तो देख लिए, अब देखते हैं wickets की क्या कहानी रही है.
बिल्कुल. और विकेट्स में जैसे हमने कहा था कि चेन्नई ने बहुत ज़बरदस्त गेंदबाजी की थी. एक रन आउट था, लेकिन अनिल lost 3 wickets. You know, that was really important. जो आखिरी ओवर में वो 3 विकेट आए. अनुराग के एक ओवर में जो 1 विकेट आया, एक रन आउट भी हुआ. That really changed the game. So Ajay did not take wickets, but again, you know, Chennai की bowling ने दिखा दिया. I think everybody, the entire field, entire tournament noticed कि आज Chennai की bowling जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा strong है.
Bowling के साथ fielding, of course, was leaking as well from a lot of sides. But remember, dot balls also very important. But to talk about the batsmen, to talk about all the fireworks, we get to know the strike rate, of course, as well of all the batsmen that are down there, isn't it?
Absolutely. Strike rate is very important. Anil 340 strike rate, Manoj 200 strike rate, Anurag 177. Again, these 3 players, हमने बार-बार इन तीनों players के बारे में चर्चा की है, and they turned the game for Chennai today. That was really important.
Well, the conversation and the analysis will keep going on for the other 4 matches that we have for the day. But for now, of course, Chetan, the next game comes up. You remember Delhi take on New York Apes in that game. A lot to expect fireworks from this game as well, isn't it?
Absolutely, fireworks. Delhi Sharks versus New York Apes. और Delhi Sharks में हमारे हैं जयेश भाई, जो रियल क्रिकेट में नंबर 2 खिलाड़ी हैं, और न्यूयॉर्क की गेंदबाजी चेन्नई की गेंदबाजी की तरह स्ट्रांग है. तो देखिए, धमाका जरूर होगा.
There we have the predictions are going to go on, but for now we have Neeraj down there.
We're officially done with the first match of Global eCricket Premier League, and the Chennai Wolves have definitely set the standards. We will now be breaking for intermission, but stay glued to your seat because the next match is going to be Delhi Sharks versus the New York Apes.
All new Pulsar Mania's here. Maniacs wanted.
lenskart. Download the app or visit your nearest store.
लेकिन ये पाइप चलेगा.
फिनोलेक्स पाइप्स, पीढ़ियां बदलेंगी, पाइप नहीं.